Now that you've had some time to think about what we can do when the user screws up, let's look at some certain ways they can screw up and how we can fix that. Okay, so one way the user can screw up is maybe by putting two numbers in there. Okay, that worked, but is that what we expected? Or maybe the user just puts no numbers in there. Okay, now we get an error because it's like you're trying to access arg sub 1 and there is no arg sub 1. There's only an arg sub 0. So we need to check and make sure that that the user is doing the right thing. And so we set args. And so now we can check the length of args. And if it doesn't equal 2, then the user has done something wrong. Okay, and so we want to let the user know that they've done something wrong. Okay, so if args does not exactly equal 2, the user gets an error, right? And then we can also give it, we can also exit from the program. So sys.exit is the function to exit from the program. And so normally, when you think about code, there are things called exit codes. So when the program exits, you know whether it exits successfully or exits unsuccessfully. And so in this case, we're going to give it an exit code of 1. Normally when a program runs and works correctly, it has an exit code of 0. So we just want to put this exit code of 1 in there to make sure that when it returns that there is an understanding, the system understands that things did not work properly because they got an exit code of 1. And so we'll save this. So now we can run it. So now if I just type python's prime.py, I get that error. And that's really nice. It's better than this weird index error because I don't know, the user doesn't know what you're talking about. But now I understand, okay, I have to provide one argument. So if I type 10, it does the correct thing. If I give it 2 arguments, again, I get the error because there has to be 1 argument and the user is informed of that. Okay, so that's some error checking, but I think we need to check at least one more thing to make sure that users really can't screw our script up. So if we look at argv again, let me go ahead and print this out again. Save it, run it. Okay, what you'll see is 10 is actually in quotes here. So when you type that in on the command line, it's actually interpreting that as a string, not as a number. Okay, and so if we tried to do math on that string, it wouldn't work. So if we did like a equals argv, args of 1 plus 2, and we try to run it now we get an error. It's like I can't add a string plus an integer. Okay, and so that would be a problem when we try to do math in main. So one way we can get around that is try to do something to force it to become an integer. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff here. And so we can say we want to make n a new variable. It's going to be the int. We're going to force it to become an integer of that args of 1, and then we're going to pass the integer version into main. Okay, and so now we could actually do math. And so like up here I could say a equals num plus 2. And so we're converting args 1 into an integer and then passing that to main and doing some math, printing, I can even go ahead and print a here. Let's go ahead and save and run. And so it prints 12 as expected. So now we can do math because we convert it to an integer. That's awesome. The problem is, again, users don't do what you expect. And if our user is stupid and inputs a non-number argument, you end up with an error, right? So like, I want to see prime number a. Okay, and so we get this value error. It's like, I can't convert a to a number. What are you talking about?